Hello and welcome back to another Slimline Rainbow Crazy Extravaganza. It's Erica and the Changers here today. Don't worry, not a rock band, just some fab embossing patterns from WoW. I will also be using the Slimline die cutting system from Picket Studios with these two clever rectangular dies. So they layer up and you get some, that nice overlap to build a bit of dimension. So I've already cut out a couple of pieces here. So I'm going to be making my rainbow background directly onto the smaller piece, which is just under 8.5 by 3.5 inches. So we are also gonna, as I said, that we're gonna be featuring the changers today. So I have been completely obsessed with glisten because it makes everything sparkly, but I've never tried texture. So I'm going to be mixing up some of that with the clear gloss embossing powder, which I have in a huge tub here. I mean, look at that. I have normal size hands, but that tub is huge. So we're going to be mixing that up so that I have some like clear texture, because things will become clear later. But I have this idea of like making slimline rainbows, and then we're going to be adding some clouds on top. So those are the clouds, and then these are some of the sentiments that I'm toying with the idea of which ones to use. But it's like, which ones? It's all up in the air. So we shall see. But these rainbow backgrounds, definitely going to be making. So we're covering the panel here with tape runner. And then I started with the yellow in the middle to kind of make sure that that was in the middle. And then we're going to be using the die cutting system to cut that out and make a nice trim line. Then how to work the changers, you basically take whatever color you want to change powder, basically. So I want a clear one, but with texture. So I'm using the clear embossing powder here. And then I mix 50-50 with the powders. So you have about half a tub of texture changer and half of clear gloss. And then you just mix that up like so on a piece of paper. And then we're gonna tip this into a clear or an empty jar. So when you buy the trio of the changers, you get one of sheen, one of glisten, and one of texture. And you also get an empty pot so you can put your mixtures in there. And to be extra super organized, which I usually am not, I am also going to be labeling this little pot so that I know that this is my texture mix. And we interrupt our card making by rescuing a little gecko that got stuck in my craft room. But look at this little guy, isn't he so cute? Bye-bye, Mr. Gecko. Okay, back to the card making. So I realized when I made that first rainbow background that, I have a lot of cardstock already cut up. So why not make another one, right? And also I wasn't super happy with how I ended up cutting some of the strips. So I actually did another one, and then I trimmed that one down. And this is one of the die cuts that I'm going to be using to finish off my sentiments. And I've cut this up 3 times and layered on top of each other. I love doing this. This is one of my favorite ways of doing it. And then I used these stitched edged cloud dies from MFT stamps. This one is actually retired from them, but if you're quick, you can grab it from Ellen Hutson. So here we are taking these cloud pieces and we are dabbing them very generously with the embossing pad. And then we're going to be taking our very clever texture paste powder. And we're going to be covering that piece with our brand new mixture. And then we're going to be setting this with the heat tool. So you're going to want to make sure that that's nice and hot. So I've just started it already. So that's actually bluing in the meantime. I'm covering my second piece because I wasn't quite sure which one I wanted to be the top piece here. So I decided to just cover both of these two. But if you know which one is going to go under, you obviously don't need to cover that one to the edges. So here we are. We're going to just put that aside for a little bit, and also those. And then we're going to be setting this powder. And unfortunately, because it's clear and the paper is white, you're not going to be able to see the magic, but I assure you it is magic. But I am completely and utterly obsessed with the glisten because I like sparkles. I mean, who doesn't, right? So I decided to also do the other two pieces that I've already cut out in the glisten. So I didn't film that bits. I didn't film that bit because I thought, hey, you know, it's just me waving my heat tool around. But you will have a little look here. So you can see that it's just added that sort of like texture to it and also a little bit of fluff. Okay, so that couldn't be helped. But this is just so much more fun than plain old white cardstock, right? So up or down, we shall see. So this will probably be an issue right up until they go onto the card. So here are the other two. And we're just going to skip right ahead to the admiring part. Although I did keep this bit here because I did manage to burn the powder a little bit. So we're going to just show quickly how I fixed that, which is just dab it onto the embossing pad, then cover it up with the powder again, and then gently heat for the second time. So here, puzzling. Who knows how it's going to end up? But what I did realize as well is that because the pieces are so heavily heat embossed, I did end up adding a little bit of a liquid glue tube as well, which was like the last of my glue. I'm completely out now, so send an ambulance full of glue. So I ended up having to use some proper old school Pritt stick glue. Yes. And then I put some heavy stuff on top to make sure that they dried flat. And I didn't do it with the first one there, but here I did leave this one until it was dry before I then trimmed off everything to make sure that it was all, you know, everything stuck to where it's supposed to go. Because if you do it while the glue is still wet, your pieces could move. So be careful when you do that. And then we're adding these two card bases. And with that, we are then also going to be putting on our sentiments. So I've used a Hi and Friend die from the stamp market. And also a happy birthday die from My Favorite Things. This particular one is actually retired, but there is another one which is called a hand and lettering happy birthday, which is very, very similar. So with these ones, I've also, because, you know, always gonna spice things up, right? So with the happy birthday, I've added the glisten so that they will be nice and shimmery. And on the friend, I have covered the actual friend part because it's like a two-piece die. So the friend I have cut out, there's a shadow and then there's like the actual word. So I cut that out 2 or 3 times and lay it up. And then I also heat embossed that with clear on top to create that sort of puffy sticker look. And here you can see I'm using my pointy tweezer into a little corkboard to hold my word die so I don't burn my fingers when I'm heat embossing. So those are the pieces all done. And then, oops, apart from throwing that around, you can see this is what I mean with the puffy sticker look. So you can actually do this 2 or 3 times to get it like really high and puffy. And the big high behind there, that I actually layered with some fun foam. So this is nothing fancy or anything. It's just, yeah, fun foam. Cheap stuff. So that added to the back of the actual cardstock high, and then we're adding that on top of the card, and then using glossy accent because I'm literally out of everything else with a fine tip adhesive. We are adding these to our card as well, and you might have noticed that there was a little bit of a outline on the big high. So look at that shimmer. So there is the glisten on the right and the texture on the left. So I did manage to make a bonus card. Yes, because I have loads of these rainbow backgrounds. But this is the outline of the big high from the stamp market. So I thought it was a shame to let that go to waste. So why not make another one while I was at it? And this one I nearly covered in tons of sequins. Not quite like that, but when I add sequins, I tend to not just do 1 or 2 or 3. It's like 7 to 12 to 20. I have been known to put quite a few on my cards. But strangely, yes, I hope you're sitting down, I decided to leave it as it is. Not a single sequin. Yes! I know! Crazy, right? So here it is. And I actually think that is pretty nice as it is. Although, a couple of sequins might be nice, right? Oh well, I'll do that next time. But with that, I am all done. But you can find the card making of this onto my blog as well. And I will link almost everything down below that I have used. Obviously, some of these things are discontinued, but that doesn't stop me from using them. But if you do use these links to shop, as you know, it is Black Friday weekend. Thank you so much, because everything I earn from these affiliate links goes straight back into my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon again.